Hey everyone, it's Serge here again from FindMyHouse.ca and EXP Realty with another edition of What You Need to Know About Real Estate. Today, I'm with Carl Bosecke, a longtime friend of mine and real estate lawyer. We're going to talk about title insurance versus maybe a real property report and compliance. So what can you tell us about that?
So this is probably one of the most problematic areas in real estate purchase transactions. Real property reports, just as a background, is a survey of the property which shows all of the structures and improvements on the property, and it indicates all of the dimensions of the size of the structure and the location of the buildings and the structure on the property.
So it's kind of like what we used to call a survey certificate back several years ago, but a little more detailed.
A little bit more detailed, but it's basically a surveyor certificate with a fancier name and some more details.
More detailed. Perfect. Yeah.
So, from a legal point of view, the survey has no value. What it does is it just shows what's on the property. The value in a real property report is once we send it to the city, we request the city to provide us with something called a compliance certificate. So the city reviews its development records for that property to ensure that there's building permits and development permits issued for all of the structures that require those permits. They will review the real property report to make sure none of the structures encroach on utility right-of-ways, including city utility right-of-ways. And then they'll tell us whether or not buildings are located properly according to the city bylaws, so set back from property lines. That document is typically called a compliance report, and that has legal import for both the sellers and the buyers in a real estate transaction.
So sometimes when we see that report, it says everything's okay, but something's non-conforming. So what would that be?
So non-conforming means that either the proper permit has not been issued for that structure, or it's located improperly, so it's not set back from the property lines properly.
Okay.
However, due to the age of the structure, the city allows it to remain as is, either contravening the location bylaw or without a permit because of its age. However, when a buyer or a homeowner changes that structure, they then have to bring it up to current city standards in terms of permits and location.
Okay. So basically non-conforming, the city saying, yes, it doesn't fit the requirements, but we're okay with you keeping it the way it is. But if you ever do make changes in the future, you have to make it comply.
Correct. Basically, they're grandfathering that structure.
Okay. So, why would a buyer insist on having an RPR versus accepting a title insurance?
So, as a buyer, there's a couple of important reasons why you want a real property report. Number one, as a homeowner, it gives you the location of the structures, so when you do future work, you have all of that information at hand. Number two, as a buyer, it gives you assurance that all of the proper permits have been issued, so you don't need to deal with that property in the future if you're altering the structure, or ultimately when you sell the property and you need to get the permits for your buyer down the road.
Okay. Now, I know that we're running across this more and more often where the banks are now asking for title insurance to be in play. So, why would you want title insurance? What benefits are there for our clients to have title insurance? Or what's reasons why they may not want to have title insurance?
So, depends which hat I'm wearing. As a seller, I always want to offer title insurance instead of a compliance certificate for two reasons. It's cost effective and it's time efficient. So cost effective means it costs approximately $225 to get title insurance, and we can get typically within 2 days. whereas getting a real property report and compliance certificate can take up to a month and will cost the seller upwards of $800-900. So that's the big reason why sellers want it, and it doesn't delay closings. From a buyer though, it's the opposite. You want to get an RPR because it shows the location and you know the permits are there. Title insurance gives some added benefits to a buyer on top of that. Not necessarily for permits, but for outside problems such as fraudulent transactions or things that are unknown at the time the deal closes. So an RPR in compliance gives the best assurance to a buyer. Title insurance supplements that. From a bank's point of view, they're quite comfortable with just title insurance because they're only worried about whether there's a lack of permits. If the city comes back and requests permits to be issued, and the title insurance company covers the bank for those problems.
Okay. Now, I think in an earlier discussion, you mentioned that really the benefits of title insurance can be somewhat limited as to when they might pay out.
So typically a title insurance policy when it comes to permit and zoning issues only applies if the municipality comes to the homeowner and requests that certain things be done. So if there's an outstanding permit, if the municipality comes to the owner and requests that the owner gets the proper permits. That happens so infrequently because the municipality doesn't have the time and resources to monitor and go out and inspect properties. They only do it if the homeowner requests work to be done. Title insurance excludes that situation where the homeowner makes a request to the city for additional permits or a compliance certificate. If that shows up problems, the title insurance coverage excludes those situations.
So really, there's limited coverage.
For a homeowner, it's quite limited.
Quite limited. Okay. So is there anything else that people should be aware about RPR in compliance and title insurance that we should talk about?
Well, I think we've hit on the basics for a seller, the timeliness and cost effectiveness. For a buyer, if I'm representing a buyer, my position is always going to be let's get an RPR in compliance. However, that should be tempered with buyers and sellers acting reasonably for minor issues, and sometimes files get delayed for quite a bit of time and at a huge expense for minor permit issues, and so that's where parties need to act a little bit more reasonably at times. So if we can approach those problems in advance of closing by offering an RPR compliance and title insurance, that eliminates a lot of the stress for homeowners on closing.
And of course, it facilitates a much smoother closing.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And it saves them legal fees.
Save some legal fees. There you go. Hey, whenever you can save money, and not have to pay more, I think that's a great idea. Sorry. Anyways, again, I hope that you found this useful, got great information for you. If you're looking for a great real estate lawyer, I can definitely recommend Carl. I've been working with Carl for such a long time. I don't want to think about how long, but a long time. He's one of the best in the industry. If you want to contact Carl, you can see his numbers right here in front of him, 780-469-0494, and his email is also there. If you need to contact him, just have to ask a quick question. So again, thank you. Have a great day. Take care.